Stop proving your worth and let true love align naturally, because this message has found you at a moment when your heart may be more tired than you have admitted. Maybe you have been carrying a quiet ache inside you, wondering why love has felt so heavy, why you have had to explain yourself so much, why you have had to become smaller, sweeter, stronger, quieter, easier, just to feel chosen. And maybe no one around you can see how much energy it has taken to keep smiling while a part of you has been asking, when will I finally be loved without having to work so hard for it? This is not an accident. These words are meeting the part of you that is ready to stop running after approval. They are meeting the part of you that has given too much, waited too long, accepted too little, and still tried to stay soft. There is nothing wrong with your heart. There is nothing broken about the way you love. You have simply been trying to receive true love from places that made you feel like you had to earn it first. Let your tongue relax. Let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders drop even a little. Feel the quiet around you. Feel the part of you that is still hoping love can become gentle, because it can. My dear, love is not meant to feel like an exam you keep taking, hoping someday you will finally pass. Maybe you are tired of being the one who understands everything. Maybe you are tired of forgiving quickly because you fear losing someone. Maybe you are tired of acting calm when your heart is shaking. Maybe you're tired of giving more love than you receive, then blaming yourself for needing love back. Maybe you're tired of being strong in the places where you wanted to be held. Here, softly, no more. You do not have to punish yourself for wanting love. You do not have to call yourself too sensitive because you wanted care. You do not have to call you self-needy because you wanted steady effort. You do not have to keep proving that you are good enough for someone who keeps making you feel unsure. True love does not make you beg for basic kindness. True love does not make you wonder if your feelings are too much. True love does not ask you to become a perfect version of yourself before you are allowed to be held. There is a deep difference between love that sees you and love that only enjoys what you do for it. Love that sees you feels calm. It may not always be easy, but it does not make you abandon yourself. It does not make you hide your needs. It does not make you feel like you must perform happiness when you are hurting. It allows your truth to breathe. A mirror does not ask your face to become different before it reflects you. It simply shows what is there. In the same way, true love reflects your real self. It does not only want your light, it can sit with your quiet days. It can hear your honest words. It can respect your limits. It can meet the tender places you usually cover. But if you keep changing yourself to be chosen, love cannot meet the real you. It can only meet the role you are playing. I do not need to earn love. I am already worthy. I let myself be seen gently. Let those words move through you slowly, not as something you must force yourself to believe all at once, but as something your heart can begin to remember. You were not born proving. You were not born asking if you were enough. You were not born trying to become lovable. Somewhere along the way, something taught you that love could leave if you were not useful, pleasing, impressive, silent, beautiful, successful, or easy to handle. But that lesson was never the truth of your soul. My dear, there is a truth your heart may have been waiting to hear. The love that is meant for you will not require you to betray yourself to keep it. It may ask you to grow. It may invite you to open. It may show you places inside yourself that still need healing. But it will not demand that you disappear. It will not ask for your peace as payment. It will not make you feel lucky just because someone gives you small drops of attention. The heart gets very tired when it has to keep asking, "Am I still wanted?" The body gets tired too. You may feel it in the chest. You may feel it in the throat. You may feel it in the stomach. You may feel it in the way your mind checks messages, remembers old words, studies small changes, and tries to understand every silence. That is not peace. That is the body trying to stay safe in uncertainty. So let this be a gentle turning point, not loud, not dramatic, not angry, just honest. You are allowed to stop chasing the feeling of being enough. You are allowed to stop giving your whole heart to places that only give you confusion. You are allowed to stop explaining your worth to someone who benefits from you doubting it. Notice, again, still here. When fear speaks inside you, it may say, "If I stop proving, I will be forgotten." It may say, "If I stop giving so much, they will leave." It may say, "If I become honest, I will be too much." Fear speaks from the old wound. Fear thinks love must be held tightly or it will vanish. Fear thinks you must keep doing more, being more, trying more. But love speaks differently. Love says, if you stop proving, you will finally be seen. Love says, if someone leaves when you become real, they were not loving the true you. Love says, you are not too much for the right heart. You are simply too real for what was never ready to meet you. Let your breathing become slow. Let your hands rest. Let your heart hear this in a simple way. You do not need to convince love to love you. You do not need to chase love to keep it alive. You do not need to beg love to notice your pain. The right love has eyes. The right love has care. The right love has presence. It does not need you to collapse before it finally pays attention. This is where your energy begins to change. Not because you become cold, not because you stop caring, not because you close your heart. Your energy changes because you stop placing your worth in someone else's hands. You stop waiting for one message, one answer, one sign, one person to decide if you are valuable today. You begin to come back to yourself. Coming back to yourself may feel strange at first. If you have spent a long time proving, peace can feel unfamiliar. If you have spent a long time chasing, Stillness can feel empty. If you have spent a long time waiting for love to choose you, choosing yourself may feel selfish. But it is not selfish to stop abandoning your own heart. It is not selfish to protect your peace. It is not selfish to want a love that feels safe, honest, and mutual. My dear, the part of you that kept proving was not weak. That part was trying to be loved with the tools it had. That part learned to give more when it felt afraid. That part learned to become quiet when it feared rejection. That part learned to smile, explain, forgive, wait, and try again. Do not hate that part of you. Bless it. Hold it softly inside your heart. It was trying to survive, but now a new part of you is waking up. A calmer part, a wiser part, a part that does not need to fight for crumbs of affection, a part that knows love should not make you lose yourself, a part that understands that what is truly meant for you can recognize you without needing you to become someone else. No more. Come back, softly. You can still be loving and no longer overgive. You can still be kind and no longer accept confusion. You can still be open and no longer chase. You can still believe in love and no longer make excuses for what keeps hurting you. This is not the end of your softness. It is the beginning of your self-respect. Imagine standing before a clear mirror after years of looking through someone else's eyes. At first, you may not know how to see yourself. You may search for flaws. You may wonder what must be fixed. You may think about what someone else was, wanted you to be. But if you stay there gently, if you look without attacking yourself, something begins to shift. You begin to see a person who has loved deeply, a person who has tried, a person who has hoped, a person who has carried more than others know, a person who is still worthy of tenderness. That person is you. Not the perfect you, not the healed all at once you, not the always calm you. You as you are right now, with your questions, with your past, with your soft heart, with your tired places, with your hope still glowing quietly inside you. I am allowed to be real. I am allowed to be loved as I am. I no longer hide myself to be chosen. Let these words settle. Let them touch the part of you that has been waiting for permission. You do not need to become more valuable. You need to stop agreeing with anything that made you feel less valuable. You do not need to chase true love. You need to become honest enough with yourself to stop calling fear, silence, and mixed signals love. My dear, there is a love that does not need you to beg. There is a love that does not make you feel like a burden. There is a love that can meet your truth without running from it. But you cannot fully receive that love while you are still trying to earn a place in someone's half-open heart. You must begin by opening your own heart to yourself. This does not mean you must have every answer today. It does not mean you must make a hard choice in this very moment. It means your inner direction is changing. You are no longer asking, "How can I become enough for them?" You are beginning to ask, "Is this love also kind to me?" That question can change your life. Let your chest loosen. Let your face soften. Let your heart stop running for a moment. You are not behind. You are not foolish. You are not unlovable. You are awakening from the old belief that love must be earned through pain. And as you awaken, do not rush. Let it be gentle. Let it be slow. Let it be real. A heart that has spent years proving cannot learn peace in a single moment. But it can begin with a softer thought, a kinder choice, a quiet return, a moment of saying, "I am still worthy, even here." The love that is meant for your healed heart will not be frightened by your honesty. It will not punish you for having needs. It will not ask you to keep shrinking so it can feel comfortable. It will meet you in the mirror of truth. It will recognize the real you. And before that love arrives outside of you, it begins as a quiet return inside of you. There was a time when you may have learned that love came closer when you became easier to accept. Maybe you learned to smile when you wanted to cry. Maybe you learned to stay quiet when something hurt you. Maybe you learned to give more when you were already empty. Maybe you learned to become useful, pleasant, patient, forgiving, and strong, because somewhere inside you, you believed that if you were not all of these things, love might leave. Is not something to judge. This is something to understand with care. The old pattern of proving your worth did not appear from nowhere. It was learned through moments when your heart needed safety. It was learned when you felt that being yourself was not enough to receive steady love. It was learned when you noticed that approval came when you pleased, helped, stayed quiet, or carried more than your share. My dear, many hearts learn to perform before they learn to rest. They step onto the stage of life and begin acting like everything is fine. They say the right words. They laugh at the right time. They hide the deep ache. They become the calm one, the giving one, the understanding one, the one who does not ask for too much. But inside, there is a quiet question. If I stop performing, will anyone still stay? Feel that gently. You may have spent a long time standing under invisible lights, waiting for someone to clap for your goodness. Waiting for someone to say, "You are enough now." Waiting for someone to notice how much you sacrificed. Waiting for someone to understand that your kindness was not weakness, that your patience was not endless, that your silence did not mean you were not hurting. But love is not a stage. You were never meant to perform your way into being chosen. You were never meant to keep changing your lines, changing your face, changing your needs, just to keep someone near. True love does not sit in the audience judging whether you deserve care today. True love comes closer when the mask comes off. The old mind may say, become what they want. It may tell you to be less emotional, less honest, less open, less direct. It may tell you to study their mood, change your words, hide your fears, and give them no reason to leave. The old mind believes safety comes from control. It believes if you can become perfect enough, no one will reject you. But the soul says something softer. The soul says, return to what is true. The soul says, you do not need to disappear to be loved. The soul says, if love only stays when you are acting, it is not loving your real heart. The soul does not ask you to become hard. It asks you to become honest. Let the body feel what is true before the mouth rushes to make everything okay. Notice the chest, especially the tight place where apology usually begins. Notice how quickly you may want to say, it is fine, when it is not fine. Notice how fast you may want to protect someone else from your truth. This noticing is the beginning of freedom. You may have learned to smile when your heart felt unseen. You may have learned to say yes when your body felt no. You may have learned to stay available because distance made you afraid. You may have learned to act easygoing because you thought having needs would make you hard to love. You may have learned to explain your pain so softly that no one felt responsible to care for it. My dear, that was not your fault. You were trying to keep love near. You were trying to avoid the sharp feeling of being left. You were trying to become someone who could not be rejected. But no one can become rejection-proof by abandoning themselves. The more you perform, the farther you move from your own heart. And the farther you move from your own heart, the harder it becomes to recognize love that is truly safe. Enough. Come back. There is a small ache that can live between the shoulder blades when you have carried emotions that were never named. It is the ache of being the strong one too long. It is the ache of holding back tears until the room is empty. It is the ache of saying, I understand, when what you really wanted to say was, this hurts me. It is the ache of carrying love like a job instead of receiving it like a gift. Let your shoulders soften now. You do not have to hold that shape in your body anymore. You do not have to stand on the inner stage waiting to be approved. You do not have to turn every relationship into a place where you must prove that you are kind enough, calm enough, attractive enough, spiritual enough, healed enough, or patient enough. Real love is not attracted to the false piece you perform. It is drawn to the truth you finally allow. This does not mean you pour every wound onto someone else. It means you stop hiding the fact that you are a human being with feelings. It means you stop calling self-abandonment love. It means you stop rewarding people with your full energy when they only meet you with half presence. I release the role I played to be accepted. I am safe to be real. I choose truth over performance. Let this affirmation move gently through you. Do not rush it. Feel what it means. A role can be useful for a short time, but it cannot become your home. You may have played the role of the one who never gets upset. You may have played the role of the one who always gives another chance. You may have played the role of the one who waits quietly, loves deeply, and asks for almost nothing. But your soul knows the difference between peace and suppression. Your soul knows when your smile is hiding sadness. My dear, when you stop performing, some people may not know what to do with the real you. That does not mean the real you is wrong. It means they were used to the version of you that cost you too much. Some people loved your silence because it made things easy for them. Some people loved your giving because it gave them comfort. Some people loved your patience because they never had to grow. But true love will not only love what you provide, true love will care about what it costs you. This is why the old pattern must be seen with compassion, not shame. You cannot heal what you keep calling normal. If you keep saying, "This is just how I am," when really it is how you learn to survive, you may keep giving from the wound instead of from love. There is a difference between generosity and fear. Generosity feels open, fear feels tight. Generosity gives and remains whole. Fear gives and secretly hopes not to be abandoned. Notice the difference in your body. When you give from love, your heart feels warm and steady. When you give from fear, your stomach may tighten. Your breath may become shallow. Your mind may begin to count, check, and worry. You may wonder, was that enough? Did I say it right? Are they happy with me now? That is not free love. That is the old performance asking for safety. You are allowed to step off that stage. You are allowed to leave the lights. You are allowed to be a person, not a performance. Maybe for the first time, you can ask yourself, who am I when I am not trying to be chosen? Sit with that question gently. Do not force an answer. Maybe you are quieter than people know. Maybe you are softer. Maybe you are more direct. Maybe you love deeply but need more rest. Maybe you want love, but not love that makes you beg for care. Maybe you are done being grateful for small signs when your heart needs steady presence. My dear, this is where your spirit begins to take its power back. Not by becoming angry at everyone, not by proving that you do not need love, not by pretending you are above wanting connection. You take your power back by telling the truth inside yourself. I have been performing. I have been afraid. I have been trying to earn what should have been given freely. These truths may feel tender, but they are not here to hurt you. They are here to free you. There is no need to attack the old version of you. That version helped you get through painful seasons. That version kept going. That version loved with all it had. That version believed that if it became good enough, love would finally become safe. Bless that version. But do not let it lead your love life anymore. It only knows how to survive. You are learning how to receive. Come back. Slowly. You are safe here. When you stop performing, you may feel empty for a little while. That empty feeling is not failure. It is space. It is the space where the role used to be. It is the space where you can begin to hear your real needs. It is the space where your own voice returns. At first, you may not know what you want. You may only know what you no longer want. That is enough. Sometimes healing begins with a quiet no. No to proving. No to shrinking. No to being loved only when convenient. No to explaining your worth again and again. And then slowly, a new yes begins. Yes to peace. Yes to honesty. Yes to love that feels mutual. Yes to being seen without a mask. Yes to the kind of connection where your heart can stop bracing. This is not about becoming perfect before love comes. It is about becoming real enough to recognize the love that is right for you. If you are performing, you may attract people who enjoy the show. But when you become real, you create room for love that enjoys your soul. Let the old curtain fall. Let the stage grow quiet. Let the part of you that has been acting step into rest. You do not need applause from the wrong places. You do not need approval from people who only like you when you are easy. You do not need to keep auditioning for a role in someone else's heart. You are not here to be chosen by losing yourself. You are here to be loved while remaining whole. Your worth is not something you audition for. It is not something you win after saying the right thing, looking the right way, loving the right amount, staying quiet at the right time, or proving that you can handle pain without asking for help. Your worth was never waiting outside you. It was never locked inside someone's reply, someone's attention, someone's choice, or someone's ability to see you clearly. There may be old writing inside your mind, old words on an inner blackboard, words you did not choose but still believed. Be better. Be easier. Do not ask for too much. Stay useful. Do not make anyone uncomfortable. If they leave, it means you were not enough. These words may have shaped the way you loved. They may have made you careful. They may have made you give too much. They may have made you feel that love was something you had to qualify for. But today, gently, the old chalk can be erased. Not with anger, not with force, with love. My dear, erase the thought that you must become more before you are worthy. Erase the fear that your needs make you hard to love. Erase the lesson that silence keeps love safe. Erase the belief that someone else's confusion is proof of your lack. Erase the story that you must compete for attention. Erase the idea that your value rises and falls with how someone treats you. Your worth does not move like that. It does not become higher when someone praises you. It does not become lower when someone ignores you. It does not disappear when love ends. It does not shrink when someone cannot meet you. Your worth is steady. It is part of you. It is not a reward. It is not a prize. It is not a grade. Think of how much pain comes from trying to audition for love. You begin to watch every word. You wonder how you are being seen. You hold back honest feelings. You try to become the person you think someone wants. You wait for signs that you are still in the running. You feel relief when they come close and fear when they pull away. Your heart becomes tired because it is always trying to prove, measure, and perform. Notice, again, still worthy. Feel the weight of your phone in your hand when you are tempted to check if someone replied. Feel how much meaning the mind can place on one small message. If they answer, you feel chosen. If they do not, you feel anxious. If their words are warm, you breathe. If their words are cold, you begin to question yourself. My dear, your nervous system was never meant to be ruled by a screen. Your worth cannot live inside someone else's timing. Let the hand soften. Let the body know that you are here. You do not have to chase a sign of value. You do not have to refresh your pain. You do not have to keep looking for proof that you matter. You matter before the message. You matter after the silence. You matter even when someone does not know how to love you well. Write this gently in your heart. I am enough before anyone chooses me. I am worthy before anyone sees me. I belong to myself before I belong with anyone else. Let those lines become new writing inside you. Simple, clear, true. Your mind may not believe them fully yet, and that is okay. You are not forcing belief. You are planting truth where fear has been speaking too long. Shame may say, you must become more before love stays. Shame may say, if you were more beautiful, more calm, more successful, more interesting, more healed, they would have loved you better. Shame is loud because shame is afraid. Shame tries to control love by making you responsible for everything. If everything is your fault, then maybe you can fix it. But that is not truth. That is pain trying to create control. Grace answers differently. Grace says, you are already enough for honest love. Grace says, someone's inability to value you is not the measure of your soul. Grace says, you can grow without hating who you are now. Grace says, the love that needs you to lose yourself is not the love your healed heart is asking for. My dear, hear this gently. You can improve your life without believing you are unworthy. You can heal patterns without calling yourself broken. You can learn better love without shaming the way you loved before. You can become wiser and still be kind to the old version of you. Growth does not require self-hate. Healing does not require punishment. A blackboard can be rewritten. The old lessons may have been there for a long time, but they are not permanent. Every time you choose a kinder thought, you erase a little fear. Every time you stop yourself from chasing, you erase a little panic. Every time you speak honestly, you erase a little shame. Every time you choose peace over approval, you erase a little of the old belief that love must be earned. My worth is not waiting for approval. My worth is already here. I belong to myself first. Let these words rest inside you. Do not turn them into pressure. Do not say, I must be confident now. No. Be gentle. Confidence grows when you stop attacking yourself. Self-worth returns when you stop placing yourself beneath everyone else's comfort. Inner peace begins when you stop making your heart stand outside locked doors, hoping someone will finally let it in. There is something many hearts skip because it asks you to stop confusing anxiety with love. But before that can happen, your worth must become clear. You must understand deep inside that you are not valuable because someone desires you. You are not valuable because someone texts back. You are not valuable because someone stays. You are not valuable because someone regrets losing you. You are valuable because you exist, because your heart is real, because your life has meaning, because love begins inside your own acceptance. Maybe you have been trying to become unforgettable to someone who made you feel unseen. Maybe you tried to be so good they would never leave. Maybe you tried to love so deeply they would finally understand your value. Maybe you thought if you gave enough, waited enough, forgave enough, changed enough, someday they would look at you and say, "Now I see what you are worth." My dear, you do not need that day to be free. You do not need someone else's awakening to begin your own. You do not need their regret to prove your value. You do not need their return to confirm your beauty. You do not need their apology to become whole. These things may come or they may not, but your worth is not waiting for them. There is a quiet power in no longer auditioning. You stop shaping your life around being chosen. You stop asking, will this make them love me? And begin asking, does this honor me? You stop changing your voice to keep peace and begin speaking with care. You stop making excuses for pain and begin telling yourself the truth. You stop trying to become someone's perfect person and begin becoming your own safe place. Still, here, worthy. Let the old words fade. Let the chalk dust fall. Let the board inside your mind become clean enough for something new. You can write, I am not here to beg for love. You can write, I am not here to chase approval. You can write, I am not here to shrink my heart. You can write, I am ready for love that feels like truth. This does not mean you will never feel fear again. You may still have moments when the old pattern rises. You may still want to check, prove, explain, or reach. You may still feel the ache of wanting someone to see you. That is okay. Healing is not the absence of old feelings. Healing is the moment you notice them and choose not to obey them blindly. When the old urge comes, place your attention on your hands. Unclench the fingers. Feel the palms. Let the body remember that nothing outside you is holding your worth. You are holding your own life. You are holding your own heart. You are holding the choice to return to yourself. In the past, you may have believed love was something above you, something you had to reach for. But true love meets you on equal ground. It does not stand above you while you try to be enough. It does not keep you guessing, so you will try harder. It does not make you feel like you are always one mistake away from being replaced. True love recognizes worth. It does not demand a performance before offering care. My dear, you are allowed to be chosen without begging. You are allowed to be loved without over-explaining. You are allowed to be wanted without becoming someone else. You are allowed to be seen in your simple human truth. You are allowed to stop auditioning for a love that keeps making you doubt yourself. Let this be written inside you now in a new way, not loud, not harsh, just steady. I am worthy. Let it be simple. Let it be enough. You do not need to decorate it. You do not need to prove it. You do not need to explain it to anyone who is committed to misunderstanding you. I am worthy when I am quiet. I am worthy when I have needs. I am worthy when I am healing. I am worthy before love arrives. These words are not a list to repeat without feeling. They are soft truths to place back into the heart. Let them enter slowly. Let them touch the places where you once felt not enough. Let them sit beside the memories where you tried too hard. Let them soften the shame around the times you stayed longer than you should have, gave more than you had, or waited for someone to become gentle. You are not foolish for wanting love. You are not weak for hoping. You are not wrong for believing in connection. But now your spirit is asking for a higher kind of love. A love that does not make you abandon the self you are learning to care for. A love that does not feed on your fear. A love that does not require you to stand under bright lights and prove you deserve to be kept. The old audition is ending. The old board is being cleared. The old belief is losing power. You are not becoming less loving. You are becoming more honest. You are not closing your heart. You are opening it in a wiser direction. You are not giving up on love. You are giving up on the kind of love that makes you forget your own worth. And as this truth grows inside you, something beautiful begins to happen. You no longer look at love as something you must chase from below. You begin to see love as something that can meet you where you stand. You begin to understand that the right connection will not need you to become smaller to fit. It will have room for your voice, your softness, your healing, your joy, your quiet, your truth. Let the jaw soften. Let the hands open. Let the old inner writing fade. You are not here to be tested for love. You are not here to prove that your heart deserves care. You are not here to become perfect before you receive tenderness. You are here to remember that your worth was never missing. It was only covered by fear, and now, gently, it is being uncovered. There comes a moment in healing when your heart has to ask a quiet but honest question. Is this love or is this anxiety? Not to shame you, not to make you feel wrong, not to make you regret what you felt, but to help you see clearly. Because sometimes the heart becomes so used to uncertainty that it begins to think the shaking is passion. It begins to think the waiting is devotion. It begins to think the fear of losing someone is proof that the connection is deep. But love and fear do not feel the same in the body. Love may make you tender. Love may make you open. Love may bring up old wounds so they can be healed. But real love does not keep your nervous system living in alarm. It does not make your mind search for hidden meaning in every small change. It does not make your stomach drop because someone took longer to reply. It does not make your chest tighten because their warmth changed without explanation. My dear, if your body is always bracing, your soul may be trying to tell you something. The heart can love someone and still know that the connection is not bringing peace. The heart can care deeply and still recognize that care alone is not enough to make something healthy. You can love someone and still step back from the confusion they bring. Love does not become less real because you choose peace. Sometimes choosing peace is the most loving thing you can do for yourself. There is a quiet heaviness that can sit in the stomach when someone's energy suddenly changes. You may know that feeling. They are close, warm, present, and sweet. Then they feel far, cold, unsure, or hard to reach. Your mind begins to search. Did I do something wrong? Did I say too much? Did I ask for too much? Did I show too much feeling? And without noticing, you begin to make their distance about your worth. That pattern is not love. That is the old wound looking for safety. It is the part of you that learned to study other people's moods so you could avoid being hurt. It is the part of you that learned to become careful when love felt unstable. It is the part of you that thinks if you can understand every little change, you can stop rejection before it happens. But you are not here to live inside emotional guessing. You are not here to make a home in confusion. You are not here to call pain a soul connection just because it feels strong. Intensity is not always love. Sometimes intensity is fear wearing the clothes of love. Sometimes the pull you feel is not your higher self guiding you closer, but your old wound trying to win what once felt unavailable. Love does not need to keep you guessing. Love does not need to make you shrink. Love does not need to turn your peace into a question. Love does not need you to sit beside your phone with a tight chest, waiting for a sign that you still matter. Love does not need you to become an expert in someone's silence. Love does not need you to lose sleep trying to understand why care comes and goes. My dear, steady love may feel strange if chaos has been familiar. A calm connection may feel boring at first if your body has learned to expect highs and lows. When peace comes, the old mind may say, "Where is the spark?" But sometimes what you called spark was panic. Sometimes what you called chemistry was a wound being touched. Sometimes what felt powerful was simply the body trying to earn safety from someone who did not give it freely. This does not mean real love has no emotion. True love can be deep. It can be warm. It can move you. It can open you. But it does not keep you trapped in a cycle of hope and hurt. It does not make you feel high and then forgotten. It does not make your heart become addict to small moments of kindness after long stretches of pain. Anxiety often says, if it hurts this much, it must matter. It says, if I cannot stop thinking about them, they must be meant for me. It says, if I feel this pulled, I should keep trying. Anxiety speaks fast. It pushes. It demands an answer. It wants proof right now. It does not rest. Trust speaks differently. Trust says, if it is true, it can meet me with peace. Trust says, I do not need to chase what is honest. Trust says, a connection that is meant for my heart will not require me to abandon my body's warning signs. Trust is softer, slower, kinder. It does not rush you into pain just because something feels familiar. Steady, not chaos. Peace. When the urge comes to send another message, explain again, prove again, or check for a sign, let your spirit have a little space. Let your feet rest. Let your hands open. Feel the air just above your collarbones. Let the breath touch that place. Remind your body, I am safe in this moment. I do not need to run after peace. I can become peaceful first. This small space can change the energy. It helps you stop moving from panic. It helps you hear the quiet voice beneath the fear. It helps you ask, am I reaching from love or from fear of being left? There is no shame in the answer, only awareness. And awareness is where healing begins. My dear, sometimes the heart wants to call anxiety love because anxiety feels active. It gives the mind something to do. Wait, watch, check, hope, worry, try, explain. But love is not meant to be a full-time job for your nervous system. Love is not meant to make you tired in your bones. Love is not meant to make you feel like you are always one wrong word away from losing everything. Real love gives your heart room to breathe. It does not mean there will never be hard talks. It does not mean there will never be moments of doubt, growth, or repair. But even in hard moments, true love carries respect. It has care in its tone. It does not punish your honesty. It does not use distance to control you. It does not make you afraid of your own needs. You may have been taught to accept emotional hunger and call it patience. You may have been taught to accept small drops of attention and call it hope. You may have been taught to accept mixed signals and call it mystery. But your heart is not here to live on drops. Your spirit is not here to turn confusion into devotion. Your body is not here to keep sounding alarms while your mind keeps saying, maybe this is love. I no longer mistake fear for love. I choose peace that feels steady. My heart is safe with truth. Let these words land slowly. Do not force them. Let them sit beside the memories where you felt anxious and called it passion. Let them sit beside the nights when you waited for a sign. Let them sit beside the times you blamed yourself because someone else could not love with steadiness. Let them sit beside the version of you that tried so hard to be calm while everything inside was shaking. That version of you deserves kindness, not blame, not shame, not harsh words. You were trying to make sense of what hurt. You were trying to love in the way you knew. You were trying to hold something together because your heart wanted it to be safe. But now you can begin to choose differently. You can begin to listen not only to the story in your mind, but to the wisdom in your body. Your body is honest. It may speak through tight shoulders. It may speak through a heavy stomach. It may speak through a shallow breath. It may speak through a throat that closes when you want to say the truth. It may speak through tired eyes after you have replayed the same conversation again and again. These are not random signs. They are messages from the deeper part of you asking for care. My dear, love should not require you to silence the body in order to keep the fantasy alive. If your peace keeps leaving, something needs to be seen. If your joy keeps shrinking, something needs to be honored. If your heart keeps making excuses for someone's lack of care, something inside you is asking to come home. And coming home begins with honesty. Simple honesty. This makes me anxious. This does not feel steady. I want love, but I do not want to lose myself for it. I can care about someone and still care about myself. These are not hard truths. They are healing truths. A boat cannot rest if it is always fighting waves. It can move through weather, yes. It can survive hard waters, yes. But it was not made to live forever in a storm. Your heart is the same. It can face hard moments. It can grow through pain. It can forgive. It can understand. But it was not created to be tossed endlessly by someone's unclear love. Real love becomes an anchor, not a storm. It does not trap you. It steadies you. It helps you feel more like yourself, not less. It brings you back to your center. It makes honesty safer. It makes softness easier. It helps the body release what fear has been holding. If something keeps making you feel unsafe, do not rush to call it destiny. If something keeps making you feel unseen, do not rush to call it a lesson you must keep repeating. If something keeps making you feel small, do not rush to call it love. You are allowed to ask for peace. You are allowed to want consistency. You are allowed to step away from what keeps waking the wound. My dear, the right connection will not need you to live in panic to prove your devotion. The right connection will not make you feel silly for needing clarity. The right connection will not treat your heart like a place to visit only when it is convenient. True love is not careless with the person it claims to value. So let this become a quiet clearing inside you. Let the old confusion begin to loosen. Let the body feel permission to tell the truth. Let your heart understand that. The calm does not mean lack of love. Peace does not mean emptiness. Steadiness does not mean the connection is weak. Sometimes peace is the sign you were looking for all along. You do not need to chase the love that keeps waking your fear. You do not need to stay loyal to confusion. You do not need to turn anxiety into a spiritual sign. You are allowed to choose a love that meets your nervous system with softness. You are allowed to choose a love that helps you breathe. If the old fear rises again, place a gentle hand near your heart if it feels natural, and say within yourself, I can want love and still choose peace. Let that be enough for this moment. Let that be your anchor. Let that be the first calm water after a long storm. There is a gentle truth that many loving hearts forget. Boundaries are not walls against love. Boundaries are how love learns where to meet you. They are not punishment. They are not coldness. They are not rejection. They are a way of saying, my heart matters here too. They are a way of honoring the self you once forgot while trying to keep someone else close. If you have spent a long time proving your worth, boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first. You may feel guilt when you say no. You may feel fear when you need space. You may feel nervous when you speak honestly. You may worry that having needs will push love away. But my dear, love that only stays when you have no needs is not loving your whole self. Love that only stays when you are easy is not meeting your truth. Your heart is not a place where everyone should enter without care. Your energy is not an open room for people to walk through whenever they want. Your kindness is not a cup that must be emptied again and again while no one asks if you are thirsty. You are allowed to protect the home of your own being. Think of your inner world as a house. There are rooms inside you that are tender. There are rooms where your old pain lives. There are rooms where your dreams are growing. There are rooms where your peace is still learning to feel safe. Not everyone has earned the right to enter every room. Not every person should have access to your deepest places. Boundaries help you decide what is sacred, what is open, what needs time, and what must be protected. Yes, gently, choose you. From today, I protect my peace. From today, I honor my needs. From today, I stop abandoning myself. From today, I listen when my body says something does not feel right. From today, I do not confuse overgiving with love. From today, I do not hand my whole heart to someone who has not shown they can hold it with care. This does not make you unloving. It makes your love cleaner. When you love without boundaries, love can become mixed with fear. You may give because you are afraid. You may forgive because you fear distance. You may stay quiet because you fear conflict. You may say yes because you fear being replaced. But when boundaries are present, love can become honest. You can give because you choose to give. You can forgive without losing wisdom. You can speak without attacking. You can care without disappearing. My dear, guilt may speak when you start honoring yourself. Guilt may say, you are being difficult. Guilt may say, you are asking for too much. Guilt may say, you should just be grateful for what you get. Guilt may say, if you really loved them, you would not need limits. But self-worth answers with calm strength. Self-worth says, I am being honest. Self-worth says, my needs are not a burden. Self-worth says, love that respects me can also respect my limits. Self-worth says, I can be kind and still say no. Self-worth says, I do not need to disappear to prove that I care. Let the belly soften now. Stop holding the breath. Notice if your body tightens when you imagine saying what you truly need. Notice if your throat becomes small. Notice if your chest tries to protect itself. This is the body remembering old fear. It may be afraid that honesty will cost love. Be gentle with that fear. Do not push it away. Speak to it softly. We are learning a new way now. We can be honest and still be safe. Boundaries can begin very small. Ask yourself, does this feel loving to me too? Not just, will they be happy? Not just, will this keep the peace? Not just, will this make them stay? But, does this feel loving to me too? That question is sacred. It brings you back into the room. It reminds you that love is not only about what someone else receives from you. It is also about what your own heart can live with. There is a quiet kind of pain in forgetting yourself. You may feel it in small moments. The warmth of the cup you forgot to drink because you were busy worrying about someone else. The meal that went cold while your mind replayed a conversation. The body that needed rest while you kept checking if they were okay. The plans you changed, the truth you swallowed, the needs you pushed down, all because keeping closeness felt more important than keeping yourself. My dear, your care is beautiful, but your care was never meant to become self-erasure. You can love someone deeply and still remember to drink from your own cup. You can be present for someone and still be present for yourself. You can support another heart without leaving your own heart alone. I can love without losing myself. I can care without disappearing. I am allowed to have needs. Let these lines settle slowly. This is not selfish. This is balance. Love becomes healthier when both hearts are allowed to exist. If only one person gets to feel, need, choose, speak, and take space, that is not true balance. That is one person becoming smaller so the other can stay comfortable. And sometimes the most healing boundary is not spoken loudly. Sometimes it is a quiet decision inside your own heart. I will not chase after unclear energy today. I will not explain my pain to someone who keeps ignoring it. I will not keep offering full access to someone who meets me halfway only when it suits them. I will not betray myself to keep a connection that keeps hurting me. Before the heart can receive true love, it must stop opening the door to what keeps wounding it. This is not a harsh truth. It is a loving truth. If the door to your inner house is always open to confusion, disrespect, silence, mixed signals, and emotional absence, then peace has no room to settle. Boundaries are how you close the door gently to what is not caring for you. Boundaries are how you prepare the room for what can meet you with respect. Soft. Stay with yourself. You may fear that boundaries will make you lose love, but sometimes boundaries do not make you lose love. They reveal what kind of love was there. If a connection becomes angry because you honor your needs, it may have been benefiting from your silence. If someone calls you difficult because you ask for respect, they may have been comfortable with your self-abandonment. If someone leaves because you stop overgiving, they may have been attached to what you provided, not who you are. This can hurt. It can feel lonely at first, but it is also freedom. Because what leaves when you become honest was not holding your real self with care. What fades when you stop proving was not rooted in truth. What becomes cold when you set a gentle boundary may have depended on you having none. My dear, you are not here to keep every person close at the cost of your own spirit. You are here to align with love that can honor you, and that kind of love needs to know where you are. It needs to know your truth. It needs to know your yes and your no. It needs to know the real shape of your heart, not the shape you twisted yourself into just to be accepted. A house with no doors is not safe. A cup with no care will be emptied. A heart with no boundaries will become tired from holding too much. You are allowed to have doors. You are allowed to choose who enters. You are allowed to decide what energy is welcome. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to refill. This is a new kind of love practice. It is not only about attracting someone. It is about becoming someone who no longer abandons themselves in the name of love. It is about becoming a safe home for your own heart. It is about teaching your energy that your needs matter. It is about allowing your life to be shaped by self-respect, not fear. From today, I protect my peace. From today, I honor my heart. From today, I choose love that includes me too. Do not rush to become perfect at this. Boundaries may come with shaking hands at first. They may come with a soft voice. They may come after many moments of practice. That is okay. A boundary does not have to be loud to be real. It does not have to be explained for hours. It does not have to make everyone happy. It simply has to be honest. You can say, I need time. You can say, that does not feel right for me. You can say, I care, but I cannot to keep doing this. You can say, I am not available for confusion. You can say, I need love that feels steady. Simple words, calm words, true words. My dear, when you begin to honor your limits, your energy changes. You stop sending the message that love may treat you any way it wants and still receive all of you. You begin to teach life softly but clearly that your heart is sacred. You begin to show your own soul that you are no longer willing to be left behind by yourself. And this is when true love has a clearer path. Because true love does not need you without boundaries. True love does not need you empty. True love does not need you afraid to speak. True love can meet you at the doorway of your own self-respect and say, I see you, I honor you. I do not need you to lose yourself to love me. There is peace in that. There is safety in that. There is a love that does not force entry. It knocks gently. It waits with care. It respects the rooms inside you. It does not demand access to the places you are still healing. It does not make you feel guilty for protecting what is tender. So let the house of your heart become peaceful again. Let the cup of your energy be filled again. Let the rooms inside you be cleaned of fear, pressure, and old guilt. Let yourself remember that your love is precious. Your presence is precious. Your softness is precious. And precious things deserve care. You do not need to prove your goodness by having no limits. You do not need to prove your loyalty by ignoring your pain. You do not need to prove your love by leaving yourself. A love that is meant to grow with you will learn your boundaries and meet them with respect. Natural alignment begins in the quiet moment when you stop forcing connection and start listening to your own peace. It begins when you no longer try to pull love closer with worry. It begins when you stop trying to convince someone to see your heart. It begins when you let go of the need to manage every outcome and allow what is honest to reveal itself. This does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold. It does not mean you close your heart and pretend love no longer matters. It means you stop using your energy to push something that keeps resisting your peace. It means you stop asking your soul to run after what cannot meet you with equal care. It means you begin to trust that the right love does not need to be dragged into place. My dear, forced connection has a feeling. It feels tight. It feels like effort without rest. It feels like writing the message, deleting it, writing it again, and still not feeling calm. It feels like explaining your heart to someone who hears the words but does not change the pattern. It feels like giving more warmth to cover someone else's distance. It feels like trying to build a bridge alone while calling it hope. Natural alignment feels different. It may still feel tender. It may still ask you to be brave, but it carries a quiet sense of truth. There is room to breathe. There is room to be honest. There is room for both people to move toward each other, not one person always reaching while the other decides when to care. Receive, slowly, no force. When you stop forcing, your energy returns. When you stop convincing, your peace returns. When you stop begging life to choose you, you remember life already supports you. When you stop trying to make someone ready, you become ready for what can actually meet you. When you stop shrinking to fit into uncertainty, your spirit begins to stand tall again. There is a kind of quiet buzz in the chest when you are waiting for certainty from someone outside you. It may feel like nervous hope. It may feel like your body is leaning forward all the time. It may feel like you cannot fully rest because a part of you is waiting for them to decide, to reply, to choose, to explain, to become clear. But your heart was not meant to live in that leaning place forever. Relax the space behind your eyes. Let the forehead soften. Let the body stop searching for the answer for a moment. You do not have to solve love right now. You do not have to force clarity from someone who is not offering it. You do not have to keep pushing your heart into a place where it keeps getting tired. My dear, love has an energy, not only in words, but in action, not only in promises, but in presence, not only in sweet moments, but in steadiness. If the energy is always making you chase, explain, wait, or doubt, then your soul may be asking you to step back and feel the truth without fear. A magnet does not run through the world begging metal to come close. It simply holds its nature. It rests in what it is. In the same way, your heart becomes more aligned when it stops running away from itself. You do not attract true love by becoming desperate to be chosen. You do not align with healthy love by treating yourself like you are not enough. You align by returning to your own truth, your own peace, your own self-respect. This is why self-worth is not separate from love. It is the ground love meets you on. When you feel unworthy, you may accept what hurts because you fear nothing better will come. When you feel unworthy, you may confuse effort with proof. When you feel unworthy, you may try to earn a love that should be freely given. But when you begin to remember your value, your energy becomes clearer. You no longer keep every door open out of fear. You no longer run toward every small sign. You begin to choose what chooses you with care. I allow love to align without force. I trust what meets me in peace. I release what needs me to chase. Let this be simple. Do not turn it into pressure. You are not trying to become perfectly detached. You are not trying to act as if you do not care. You are simply learning to care without losing yourself. You are learning to love without pushing. You are learning to open your heart without throwing it into places that cannot hold it. My dear Control may say, make it happen now. Control wants to send the message, fix the distance, explain the feeling, prove the bond, and remove all uncertainty. Control thinks if it can arrange every detail, the heart will finally feel safe. But control usually comes from fear. It does not trust the natural movement of love. It does not trust timing. It does not trust that what is meant for you can find you without panic. Blessing speaks more softly. Blessing says, let it meet you without pressure. Blessing says, what is true will not need to be chased into your life. Blessing says, step back, not to lose love, but to see what love does when you stop carrying all of it. Blessing says, you are allowed to rest while life reveals what belongs. This is a powerful shift. To stop forcing is not to give up on love. It is to give up on pressure. It is to stop trying to make a connection become what your heart wishes it could be, and begin allowing it to show you what it truly is. Sometimes that truth brings closeness. Sometimes it brings release. But either way, truth is kinder than confusion. There is peace in not chasing clarity from someone else's silence. There is power in not pushing your heart toward a door that keeps closing. There is healing in no longer making yourself responsible for another person's readiness. You can love, you can care, you can wish them well, and still you can let life show you whether the connection has the roots to grow. Say yes to your peace. Say yes to your truth. Say yes to your body. Say yes to your healing. Say yes to love that does not require force. You do not need to say it loudly. Let it be quiet inside you. Let it be like small lights turning on in the rooms of your heart. If these words are helping your heart soften, you may gently save this message so you can return when your spirit needs this reminder again. And now return to the breath. Return to the body. Return to the quiet truth that your life is not behind. Your love is not lost. Your heart is not too late. You are simply being guided out of the old habit of chasing and into the calmer space of receiving. My dear, the next part matters because love does not only align with your heart, it aligns with the way you speak to yourself when no one is watching. If your inner voice keeps telling you that you are not enough, you may keep choosing connections that reflect that pain. But if your inner voice becomes kinder, calmer, and more loving, your whole energy begins to shift. The outside begins to meet the inside in a new way. No force, no begging, no self-abandonment. Natural alignment does not mean doing nothing. It means acting from peace instead of panic. It means speaking clearly instead of performing. It means taking care of yourself instead of trying to control another person. It means choosing what supports your spirit, even when fear wants you to chase what feels familiar. Sometimes the most spiritual action is not another message. It is rest. Sometimes the most loving action is not another explanation. It is silence that protects your peace. Sometimes the most powerful movement is not moving toward someone, but returning to yourself. From that place, love can find you in a cleaner way. I allow what is true to come closer. I allow what is not true to fade gently. I stay with myself through every change. Let these words open something inside you. Not a large opening, just enough for peace to enter. You do not have to know who will stay, who will return, who will change, or what will happen next. You only need to know that your worth is not waiting for the answer. Your life is still held. Your heart is still guided. Your love is still sacred. My dear, when you stop forcing connection, some things become quiet. At first, that quiet may feel scary. You may wonder if you did something wrong. You may wonder if you should reach again. You may wonder if silence means loss. But sometimes silence is not loss. Sometimes silence is space. Sometimes it is the place where your energy comes back to you. Sometimes it is where you finally hear your own heart again. Let the quiet teach you. Let it show you who reaches with care. Let it show you what grows without pressure. Let it show you where your peace expands. Let it show you what was being held together only by your effort. You do not need to fear what becomes clear when you stop forcing. Clarity is a gift, even when it feels tender at first. A connection that is aligned will not require you to keep pulling it back to life alone. It will have its own movement, its own honesty, its own warmth, its own willingness. It will not be perfect, but it will not make you feel like you are the only one carrying the sacred thread. True love has participation. True love has care from both sides. True love does not leave you doing all the emotional work and then call you too sensitive for feeling tired. This is your permission to stop pushing. Stop trying to make the right words appear in someone else's mouth. Stop trying to make another person ready before they are. Stop trying to force a love story out of energy that keeps making you feel small. Let what is real show itself. Let what is kind come closer. Let what is unclear teach you where not to place your whole heart. Slowly, softly, return. When you return to yourself, you do not become less magnetic. You become more clear. Your energy stops scattering into fear. Your attention stops leaking into worry. Your heart stops running down every path that offers a tiny sign. You begin to stand in your own life again. You begin to glow from a place that is not dependent on being chosen by one person. That is natural alignment. It is not chasing. It is not pretending. It is not waiting in pain. It is becoming honest enough with yourself that love can meet the real you. It is letting your inner world become peaceful enough that you no longer mistake confusion for destiny. It is trusting that what is meant for your heart can arrive without requiring you to lose your center. My dear, you can care and still let go of pressure. You can hope and still release control. You can believe in love and still stop chasing what keeps hurting you. You can be open and still protect your peace. This is the balance your heart has been asking for. Not a closed heart, not a desperate heart, a steady heart. Let your breath become softer now. Let the body grow quiet. Let the space behind your eyes relax again. Let the chest stop leaning forward. You do not have to pull love into place. You do not have to prove why you should be chosen. You do not have to make someone understand your worth. The love that is right for your soul will not need to be forced into alignment. It will recognize peace. It will respect truth. It will move with care. And until it arrives, you are not empty. You are not waiting without purpose. You are returning to yourself gently, steadily, with love. Love does not only listen to what you say to others. Love also listens to what you say to yourself when no one is watching. It listens when you look at your own face and judge it. It listens when you make a mistake and call yourself foolish. It listens when someone pulls away and your first thought is, "What is wrong with me?" It listens when you compare yourself to someone else and decide you are behind, too late, too much, or not enough. My dear, the way you speak to yourself becomes the room your heart has to live in. If that room is filled with blame, fear, and harsh words, then love feels hard to receive. Even when kindness comes, a part of you may not trust it. Even when someone cares, a part of you may wait for it to disappear. Even when life opens something gentle, a part of you may whisper, "This cannot be for me." That whisper is not truth. It is old pain speaking in your voice. So now, gently, begin to listen. Not to attack yourself, not to fix everything in a single moment. Just listen. Notice the words you use inside. Notice how quickly the mind becomes sharp when you feel rejected. Notice how easily you blame yourself for someone else's silence. Notice how often you ask your heart to become better before you allow it to feel loved. Kindness. Again. Stay. Speak to yourself when you feel behind. Speak to yourself when you feel rejected. Speak to yourself when you feel unseen. Speak to yourself when you are waiting for an answer. Speak to yourself when old fear rises. Speak to yourself when you want to run after someone just to quiet the ache. Let your own voice become a safe place to return to. There is a quiet pull in the throat when you almost say something unkind to yourself. You may know it. That small moment before the harsh thought comes, that little tightening before you call yourself too sensitive, too emotional, too hopeful, too foolish. Place love there. Let that be the moment where the old pattern begins to change. You do not have to believe every thought that speaks from pain. You do not have to obey every inner voice that tells you to shrink. You do not have to agree with the part of you that thinks love left because you were not enough. The mind can repeat what it learned, but your soul can choose what it now believes. Criticism says you should be better by now. Love says you are healing at the pace your heart can hold. Criticism says you ruined it. Love says you are allowed to learn. Criticism says no one will love you like this. Love says the real you is not a problem to be solved. My dear, this is not about pretending everything feels easy. It is about choosing not to hurt yourself more when life already feels tender. If someone did not choose you, do not make that moment heavier by abandoning yourself too. If a connection became unclear, do not turn that confusion into self-hate. If your heart hoped for something that did not unfold, do not punish the part of you that believed in love. Hope is not shameful. Wanting love is not shameful. Caring deeply is not shameful. What needs healing is not your ability to love. What needs healing is the belief that your love must be paid for with your self-respect. Look softly at yourself, not to correct your face, not to study what needs changing, not to prepare yourself to be more acceptable. Let your eyes rest with kindness. Let the face in front of you be a person, not a problem. A person who has tried, a person who has loved, a person who has been hurt, a person who still deserves gentleness. I speak to myself with love. I am gentle with my becoming. I am not late for my own healing. Let these words be simple. You do not need to turn them into a performance. You do not need to force a smile. You only need to stop fighting yourself for a moment. You only need to give your own heart a little less blame and a little more warmth. The words you speak inside become seeds. If you keep planting, "I am not enough," your heart grows fear. If you keep planting, "I am always left," your heart grows panic. If you keep planting, "I must try harder to be loved," your heart grows exhaustion. But if you begin planting kinder words slowly, the inner ground changes. The soil becomes softer. The roots of peace begin to hold. My dear, no garden changes in a day. Do not demand instant beauty from a place that has been dry for a long time. Do not stand over your heart and ask why it is not blooming faster. Give it care. Give it patience. Give it truth. Give it words that do not bruise it. When you wake with a heavy feeling, speak gently. When you remember someone who hurt you, speak gently. When you feel tempted to compare, speak gently. When you feel ashamed for still caring, speak gently. The heart does not open because it is forced. It opens when it feels safe. Maybe the old voice says, "You should not feel this anymore." But the loving voice can say, "I am allowed to feel and still move forward." Maybe the old voice says, "You were foolish for giving so much." But the loving voice can say, I was trying to love with what I understood then. Maybe the old voice says, you are alone. But the loving voice can say, I am here with myself now, soft, here. Begin again. This is where true love begins to align in a deeper way. Not because you repeat words without feeling, not because you try to become perfect, but because you stop letting your inner world be a place of rejection. When you stop rejecting yourself, you become less willing to accept rejection disguised as love. When you stop speaking to yourself with cruelty, harsh love no longer feels normal. When you begin to honor your own heart, anything that dishonors it starts to feel out of place. My dear, the love you receive outside often reflects the love you allow inside. If you speak to yourself like you are hard to love, you may accept people who treat you like you are hard to love. If you speak to yourself like your needs are wrong, you may stay close to people who make your needs feel wrong. If you speak to yourself like you must prove everything, you may keep choosing places where love feels like a test. But when your inner voice becomes softer, your choices begin to change. You stop before returning to pain. You notice when someone's energy makes you small. You stop begging for what should be offered freely. You begin to feel the difference between love that feeds your spirit and attention that only feeds your fear. This is not sudden. It is slow. It is daily. It is a kinder sentence when the old sentence rises. It is a softening before you blame yourself. It is a moment of placing your hand near your heart and saying, I am still worthy. It is a choice not to make another person's confusion the center of your life. I am learning to be safe with myself. I am learning to hear myself with love. I am learning to stand beside my own heart. Let your body receive that. Let the throat open. Let the jaw soften. Let your own presence become less sharp and more kind. You do not have to earn gentle words from yourself. You do not have to wait until you are fully healed before you treat yourself with care. You need care during healing, not only after it. My dear, speak to yourself the way you wish love had spoken to you. Speak to yourself with patience when you are afraid. Speak to yourself with respect when you are unsure. Speak to yourself with tenderness when you feel left behind. Speak to yourself with faith when you cannot yet see what is coming. A heart that is spoken to with love begins to trust life again. It stops running so quickly toward anyone who offers small warmth. It stops confusing attention with devotion. It stops bending itself around people who do not know how to stay steady. It begins to rest in a new truth. I am already someone worth loving. And from that truth, love changes. You are no longer calling from a place of emptiness. You are no longer asking someone to prove you exist. You are no longer waiting for another person to give you permission to feel beautiful, wanted, valuable, or whole. You are becoming the home your heart kept searching for. So let a kind sentence stay. Let it be small enough to believe. I am allowed to be loved gently. Let that sentence move through your mind when the old fear speaks. Let it sit beside the ache. Let it become a new seed in the garden of your heart. There is a tender place inside the heart where old shame can hide. It is the place that remembers the times you waited too long, the times you gave too much, the times you explained your pain to someone who still did not meet it with care, the times you accepted less than you needed because a small part of you was afraid that asking for more would leave you with nothing. My dear, that part of you does not need punishment. That part of you needs forgiveness. Not because everything was okay, not because the pain did not matter, not because you should pretend you were not hurt, but because the version of you who begged to be chosen was not weak. That version was hungry for love. That version was trying to survive the only way it knew. Forgive the part of you that waited. Forgive the part of you that tried too hard. Forgive the part of you that thought love had to be earned. Forgive the part of you that kept checking for signs. Forgive the part of you that stayed soft in places that did not know how to be gentle. Forgive the part of you that mistook small attention for real care because your heart wanted hope so badly. Forgiven, released, home. Let your shoulders fall as if something heavy has been removed. There is a tired feeling that can sit behind the eyes after replaying old conversations in the mind. Words you wish you had said, signs you wish you had noticed, moments you wish you had walked away sooner. But healing does not come from hurting yourself with the past again and again. Healing comes when you finally place compassion where shame used to sit. Shame says, "You should have known better." Grace says, "You were trying to survive with the love you understood then." Shame says, "You look desperate." Grace says, "You were longing to feel safe." Shame says, "You gave too much." Grace says, "You were hoping your love would be returned." My dear, grace does not make excuses for what hurt you. Grace simply refuses to make your wounded self the enemy. You can be honest about the past without hating who you were. You can see the pattern clearly without calling yourself foolish. You can say, "I do not want to repeat this," while still holding the old version of you with tenderness. That old version may have believed love was something to chase. It may have believed that if someone was distant, you had to become more loving. If someone was unsure, you had to become more patient. If someone gave little, you had to become grateful for little. If someone pulled away, you had to reach harder. That version of you was not trying to suffer. It was trying to be chosen. Let there be mercy for the old you. Let your heart say, I see you. I know why you tried. I know why you stayed. I know why you hoped. I will not shame you anymore. Let the body know the old fight is ending. My dear, sometimes the hardest person to forgive is not the person who hurt you. It is yourself for allowing it, for returning, for hoping, for not leaving sooner, for giving your heart to someone who did not protect it. But remember this, you made choices from the level of love, fear, and understanding you had at the time. Now you see more. Now you know more. Now your spirit is growing. That does not make the old you bad. It means the new you is waking up. I forgive the old version of me. I bless the love I was searching for. I return to myself with tenderness. Let those words rest in the body. Let them touch the memories you still carry. Let them soften the places where you still feel embarrassed by your own hope. There is no shame in wanting to be loved. There is no shame in believing someone could become kinder. There is no shame in seeing the good in someone. But now, your heart is learning that seeing the good in someone does not mean ignoring what hurts you. The old version of you may have begged in quiet ways. Maybe not with spoken words, but with overgiving, with waiting, with forgiving too quickly, with acting like you needed less than you did, with accepting unclear energy and trying to call it enough, with staying available to someone who was not fully present, with trying to prove love through loyalty, patience, and silence. My dear, today you can place that heavy coat down, the coat of shame, the coat of regret, the coat of, why did I do that? The coat of, how could I let myself be treated that way? You have worn it long enough. It is not helping you heal. It is only making your heart tired. Place it down, right here. No more carrying. You do not need shame to become wiser. You do not need self-blame to become stronger. You do not need to keep remembering your pain as proof that you learned. The lesson can stay without the punishment. The wisdom can stay without the wound being reopened every day. This is where love becomes cleaner inside you. When you forgive yourself, you stop trying to use new love to fix old shame. You stop needing someone to choose you so you can finally forgive the times you were not chosen. You stop needing someone to adore you so you can forget the moments you felt unwanted. You stop asking the future to rescue the past. Instead, you become the one who meets the past with love. You say to the old you, I understand. You say you were scared. You say you wanted to be held. You say you thought if you loved harder, love would become safe. You say, I am not angry with you anymore. And as these words move through you, the inner fight begins to quiet. My dear, what comes after forgiveness is not emptiness. It is space for a love that can finally breathe. When shame leaves, peace has room. When regret softens, wisdom can speak. When self-blame becomes compassion, your heart no longer needs to repeat the old pattern just to understand it. Forgiveness does not mean you return to what hurt you. It does not mean you open the door again to confusion. It does not mean you pretend everything was love. Forgiveness means you stop tying your identity to the wound. You stop saying, "This happened because I was not enough," and begin saying, "This taught me to return to myself." That is healing. That is power. That is grace. You are allowed to bless the old love without going back to the old pattern. You are allowed to feel tenderness for someone and still choose distance. You are allowed to remember the good and still honor the truth. You are allowed to miss what you hoped it would be and still accept what it was. Your heart is wide enough for honesty and compassion at the same time. My dear, the old you does not need to be erased. The old you needs to be held. Every version of you has brought you here. The one who chased, the one who waited, the one who cried quietly, the one who pretended not to care, the one who cared too much, the one who stayed, the one who finally saw the truth. They are all part of your becoming. And now you can gather them back into love. You can say, "No part of me is rejected." You can say, "No part of me is left behind." You can say, "Even the version of me that begged to be chosen deserves to be held with kindness." This is how the heart becomes whole again. Not by pretending the past did not happen, but by removing the shame from it. I am not ashamed of my healing. I am not ashamed of my hope. I am not ashamed of the love I tried to give. Let that be a soft release. The love you gave was not wasted, even if it was not returned in the way you deserved. It taught you where you were still seeking yourself outside yourself. It showed you where your boundaries needed care. It helped awaken the part of you that now says, "I want love, but not at the cost of my soul." My dear, you are not the same person who once begged to be chosen. You may still feel tenderness. You may still have memories. You may still have days when the old ache returns. But something in you is different now. You are no longer willing to trade your peace for small signs. You are no longer willing to call confusion love. You are no longer willing to perform for a place in someone's life. Forgive yourself for how long it took. Forgive yourself for what you did not know. Forgive yourself for the ways fear dressed itself as devotion. Forgive yourself for loving from an empty cup. Forgive yourself for trying to prove your worth in places that could not see it. Then let the old coat fall. Let your soul stand lighter. There is a love ahead that will not need you to carry shame into it. There is a version of you rising who can love with open eyes. There is a peace returning that does not depend on anyone's approval. And as you forgive the old you create space for a new kind of connection, one that does not begin with begging, one that begins with wholeness. True love does not ask you to disappear. It does not ask you to become smaller, quieter, easier, or less honest so the connection can survive. It does not require you to abandon your needs, silence your heart, or leave your own life behind. True love can come close without taking you away from yourself. My dear, this is important. Many people think love means giving everything. They think love means always bending, always waiting, always forgiving, always understanding. But love without self-respect becomes pain. Love without truth becomes confusion. Love without balance becomes one person carrying the whole bridge while the other only walks when it is easy. True love is a bridge both hearts are willing to cross. Not perfectly, not without fear, not without learning, but willingly. One person should not always be the one reaching. One person should not always be the one explaining. One person should not always be the one repairing, hoping, softening, forgiving, and waiting. A bridge is not built from one side only. Open, whole, natural. True love can be calm. True love can be honest. True love can be steady. True love can find you without taking you away from yourself. True love can hear your feelings without calling them too much. True love can respect your silence without using it against you. True love can meet your joy, your tiredness, your softness, and your healing with care. This does not mean true love is perfect. Love between human hearts will always ask for patience. There may be misunderstandings. There may be moments that require repair. There may be fears to speak through and old wounds to soften. But true love has willingness. It does not leave you alone in the work. It does not make you feel ashamed for wanting emotional safety. It does not treat consistency like a gift you should be lucky to receive. There is a soft quiet that comes after you stop waiting for someone else to decide your value. At first, that quiet may feel strange. You may wonder what to do with your energy when it is no longer reaching outward. You may feel the space where anxiety used to live. But then, slowly, peace begins to enter that space. Your own life begins to feel closer. Your body begins to rest. Your heart begins to remember that it belongs to you. My dear, feel the idea of staying with yourself. You do not need to float away from your own center to receive love. You do not need to become lost in another person's energy. You do not need to make someone else the sun while you become a shadow. Love is not meant to remove you from your own life. It is meant to meet you there. Lack says, take whatever comes, or you may lose your chance. Lack says, do not ask too much. Lack says, at least they give you something. Lack says, maybe this is the best you can have. Abundance answers, What is meant for me will not require me to disappear. Abundance says, there is enough love in life for me to be honored. Abundance says, I do not have to accept crumbs because I fear an empty table. Abundance says, the right love will not be afraid of my wholeness. My dear, before opening your heart wider, ask yourself honestly, does this connection bring me closer to myself or farther from myself? Can I speak the truth here without fear of punishment? Do I feel more peaceful, more alive, and more respected in this energy? These questions are not meant to make you cold. They are meant to help you stay awake, because the heart can be very hopeful. It can see what something could become and forget to look at what it is. It can hold a beautiful picture and ignore the daily feeling. It can remember a sweet moment and use it to cover many painful ones. Hope is beautiful, but hope must be held with truth. Otherwise, it can keep you standing on a bridge that only you are building. I welcome love that honors my peace. I receive connection without self-abandonment. I am safe to be chosen as I am. Let those words settle into the heart. You are safe to be chosen as you are, not as a performance, not as a polished version, not as the one who never needs anything, not as the one who can always wait, as you are, growing, healing, learning, loving, becoming. My dear, the real you is not too much for the right love. Your honesty is not too heavy for a heart that wants truth. Your needs are not too loud for someone who values care. Your softness is not a weakness to someone who understands tenderness. Your boundaries are not rejection to someone who respects your life. Your healing is not a problem to someone who is willing to meet you with patience. If love makes you feel like you must leave yourself to keep it, become still inside. If love makes you feel like your peace is always the price, become still inside. If love makes you feel like you must become less honest to remain wanted, become still inside. That stillness is sacred. It gives your soul time to speak before fear takes over. Stay, listen, choose truth. There is a love that will not need you to over-explain your worth. There is a love that will not make you feel like your heart is always waiting outside in the cold. There is a love that will meet your care with care. It may not arrive in the way your mind planned. It may not come from the place you expected. It may not follow the timeline you once held. But when your energy returns to self-respect, you become available for what is more honest. You are not losing love when you stop losing yourself. You are making room for love that can actually stay in the light. You are making room for a connection where both people can breathe. You are making room for something that does not need constant fear to feel alive. My dear, do not be afraid of the love that feels peaceful. Do not reject calm just because chaos once felt familiar. Do not push away steadiness because your old wound only recognizes longing. Let yourself learn a new feeling. Let love be simply in the body. Let love feel like ease in the breath. Let love feel like room to speak, room to rest, room to be. A true bridge does not ask you to crawl. It does not ask you to carry all the weight. It does not ask you to cross into someone else's world while leaving your own behind. It meets you with a path. It holds both sides. It allows movement both ways. This is the love your heart is becoming ready to receive. A love where you are not begging to be valued. A love where you are not shrinking to be accepted. A love where your peace is part of the connection, not something you must sacrifice for it. A love where you can say, "This is me," and not fear that your truth will destroy everything. I allow love to meet me whole. I allow love to be mutual. I allow love to feel safe in my body. Let your heart take that in. There is no need to rush. You do not have to know when or how. You do not have to search every face, every message, every sign, every possibility. You only need to keep returning to yourself. You only need to stop giving full access to half love. You only need to let your own spirit become steady enough to recognize what is steady when it comes. My dear, love that is meant for your soul will not be confused by your self-respect. It will not punish your peace. It will not ask you to choose between being loved and being whole. It will not make you feel like you must earn a place by becoming silent, small, or endlessly available. And when that kind of love comes closer, you will not need to chase it into being. You will feel the difference. Your body will not be in constant alarm. Your heart will not be begging for small proof. Your mind will not be twisting itself into fear each night. There will be a quiet knowing, not because everything is perfect, but because the connection honors your truth. Let true love arrive without losing yourself. Let it meet you standing in your own life. Let it meet you with your voice still present, your heart still open, your peace still protected. Let it meet the real you, the you who no longer performs, the you who no longer begs, the you who no longer turns love into self-abandonment. You are ready for a love that walks toward you too. Now gently return to yourself, not because love is far away, not because your heart has failed, not because the dream of true love is lost. Return because this is where peace begins. Return because this is where your worth lives. Return because this is where the love that is meant for you will recognize you clearly. My dear, you have spent enough time reaching outward for proof, enough time wondering if you were chosen, enough time trying to become the version of yourself that someone else might finally understand, enough time standing at the edge of another person's uncertainty, hoping they would open fully. Now you can step back into your own life, slowly, kindly, without anger toward your heart. Now you can rest. Now you can soften. Now you can receive. Now you can stop asking your heart to fight for what should meet it gently. Now you can stop calling pain devotion. Now you can stop making your worth depend on someone else's ability to love. Now you can remember that true love does not need you to vanish first. Come home, right here. Let the whole body become heavier, softer, quieter. Let the shoulders release. Let the face relax. Let the hands open without reaching. Feel the calm space around your heart when you finally stop reaching outward. It may be small at first, just a little space, just a little quiet, but that little space is holy. That little quiet is where your spirit begins to heal. A long inner night may have taught you many things. It may have taught you what it feels like to wait, what it feels like to hope, what it feels like to love someone more than you loved yourself, what it feels like to search for light in another person's eyes. But now, the first light is coming from within you. Not loud, not sudden, just soft enough to show you the next step. My dear, fear may still whisper, "What if nothing comes?" Fear may ask, "What if I stop trying and love passes me by?" Fear may say, "What if I become peaceful and still remain alone?" These questions can feel heavy. Do not fight them. Let them speak, then answer from the deeper place. Your soul answers, what is true does not need to be forced. Your soul answers, I can rest and still be guided. Your soul answers, the love that belongs with my peace will not be lost because I stopped chasing. Your soul answers, I am not empty while I wait. I am becoming whole. Let your heart release the need to prove. Let it release the fear of being forgotten. Let it welcome the love that begins inside your own heart. Let it be simple. Let it be gentle. Let it be enough for now. I stop proving myself now. I allow love to meet the real me. I am worthy, peaceful, and ready. Love knows how to find me. Let those words move through you like first light through a quiet room. You do not need to rush toward the morning. You only need to let the light touch what has been dark for too long. Let it touch the old doubt. Let it touch the old longing. Let it touch the places where you felt unseen. Let it touch the part of you that wondered if love would ever feel safe. My dear, you are not the same heart that began this journey. Something in you has softened, but something has also become stronger. You have seen the old pattern of proving. You have looked at the stage where you performed for approval. You have erased old words from the inner board. You have learned not to call anxiety love. You have remembered that boundaries protect what is sacred. You have felt the relief of not forcing connection. You have begun speaking to yourself with kindness. You have forgiven the version of you who only wanted to be chosen. And now you are ready to let love me at you without losing yourself. This is a return to the truth that was always waiting beneath the fear. You are worthy without performance. You are lovable without overgiving. You are enough without being chosen by the wrong person. You are whole, even while love is still finding its way. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not difficult to love. You are learning to stop offering yourself to what cannot hold you. Softly, slowly, receive. There is no need to demand proof tonight. There is no need to chase a sign. There is no need to reach for someone who keeps making your spirit tired. Let life breathe. Let your heart breathe. Let love come in ways that do not require fear to keep it alive. Maybe the next beautiful thing is already moving quietly behind the scenes. Maybe your peace is preparing the path. Maybe the love you once tried to force could never meet the person you are becoming. Maybe the delay was not rejection. Maybe it was protection. Maybe the quiet is not emptiness. Maybe it is space being cleared for something honest. My dear, you can trust your heart without letting it run back into old pain. You can trust love without chasing it. You can believe in connection without losing your center. You can stay open without staying available to what hurts. This is the balance. This is the healing. This is where love becomes natural again. You do not have to become hard to be safe. You do not have to become distant to be powerful. You do not have to close your heart to protect it. You only have to stop handing your heart to places that treat it carelessly. You only have to return to yourself with enough love to say, I am sacred too. I no longer prove my worth. I let love align with who I truly am. I trust the love that meets me in peace. I rest in my own heart. Let the final lines be felt, not forced. Let them become a gentle promise between you and your own soul. You are not begging anymore. You are not auditioning anymore. You are not shrinking anymore. You are not waiting outside your own life anymore. You are here. You are whole. You are coming home. As this moment comes to a close, let your heart stay soft, but not lost. Let it stay open, but not unprotected. Let it stay hopeful, but not hungry for crumbs. You are allowed to believe in true love and still choose yourself. You are allowed to want connection and still honor your peace. You are allowed to release what made you anxious and welcome what makes you feel safe. My dear, you do not need to prove that you are worthy of love. You do not need to become more impressive, more silent, more patient, more perfect, or more pleasing. You do not need to keep showing your heart to places that do not know how to value it. The real you is already enough for the love that is meant to meet you. Let the old pattern end gently. Let the need to chase soften. Let the fear of being forgotten become quiet. Let the shame of the past fall away. Let the part of you that tried so hard finally rest. I am worthy without performance. I am loved without chasing. I am safe to be real. I allow true love to meet me naturally. Let this final feeling settle in the heart. Nothing real has been lost by choosing yourself. What is meant for you can still find you. What is honest can still meet you. What is loving can still arrive in a way that feels peaceful to your body and true to your soul. You are not leaving love behind. You are leaving behind the need to suffer for it. You are not closing your heart. You are bringing your heart back to a safer place. You are not giving up. You are rising into a love that begins with respect, peace, and truth. Rest now in the knowing that you do not have to force what is right. You do not have to chase what is aligned. You do not have to prove what was already true. Love is leading me home.